Welcome back to Up West Sports. We got spring training underway tomorrow, and we are excited. But first, the intro.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
We are here at episode 31. Thank you to everybody that's been following us on this journey. We have Emily Klesick in the house, talking some baseball stuff. And yes, we got spring training tomorrow. But I guess before we get into that, some other kind of breaking news. It's a minor league deal. We got Mitch Garver back in the hut. Emily, wanted to kick it over to you. What are your thoughts on seeing Mitch Garver back in the clubhouse, potentially, or I guess just back in the organization?
I probably was more excited than most people. I've always loved Mitch Garver. I liked him when he was with the Rangers. I mean, he's been a player that I've really enjoyed for a long time. And I was pretty bummed when it looked like we weren't going to be getting him again this year. And so I'm really happy he's going to be back. I mean, who knows what that's going to look like, right? It's a minor league deal. The other two guys that are currently as our other backup catchers are not. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out, but I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, I got to be honest. His production and what we paid for him, it didn't align. I'll be the first to say that. However, I'm also kind of in the minority. I love that he's back because the reason that he's back is there's so much behind the scenes that we don't see, and that clubhouse with Mitch Garver in it is a net positive. And there's a reason that certain guys really wanted him to be the catcher while they were out there. I think Logan Gilbert specifically asked for him. I think even George Kirby even specifically asked for him on certain occasions. So seeing him back in the organization is good. And we're getting him on a minor league deal. It's not going to be any skin off the nose if Kinzer or if Kinzer or however you pronounce his last name.
I think it's Kisner, which does not compute to me, but yes.
And that might be, I think you might be onto something there. And apologies to what is going to be a household name, hopefully. And I'll be able to get that one down once I hear the Aaron Goldsmith and them say his name a couple times. But yeah, I mean, what a tremendous opportunity for him to go back out there and at the very worst, be a part of our AAA organization and work with the guys that are coming up. I've heard nothing but great things about him behind the plate. So, overall, I'm very happy about Mitch Garver being back. I know some Mariners fans out there might be on the other side of that fence. However, it's not for $12+ million this time. It's for a minor league deal. So take it with a grain of salt. However, what the guy did from behind the scenes and everything, I think he's an overall net positive, and this is going to be huge for the organization just to kind of try and keep intact most of that ALCS roster from last year, even guys that didn't play. That's huge. But with game one, that leads us into the conversation of game one tomorrow. We have Dane Dunning on the mound. Talk to me about what you're excited to see. We got game one. We're back in the hut, and it feels like just a couple months ago, we were watching our team unfortunately lose game 7 to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, the offseason felt short in that sense, right? We went deep into the postseason, and that's always fun, right? When the offseason gets to feel short for anything, right? Just like it's going to feel short with the Seahawks this year too, because they went all the way, right? And so I think, the overall conversation on Twitter and stuff like that today has been just everybody's so excited for tomorrow, right? We got to see our team go super far, and now we're going to see them start at the beginning and see what they can do and see what they look like. Of course, everybody's excited to see some of these prospects who are going to be there and watch what they're going to do and how they're going to perform. There's been, like we talked about last week, tons of conversation around these two incredible starting pitchers who are making their way through the minors. And, but I think ultimately for me, I'm always going to lean a little bit more nostalgic than stat heavy, but I'm just really excited to see the guys on the field again, just to watch a game and see what they're going to do. It's going to be really fun.
I couldn't agree more. And I'll double down on this. I'm excited to see what Brendan Donovan's going to look like tomorrow. I'm excited to see what Dane Dunning is going to look like with this team tomorrow. The other really, really cool stuff to see. Well, I guess let's dive in a little bit on Dane Dunning and Brendan Donovan. Dane Dunning is kind of on the outside looking in. We don't know exactly what his role is going to be. Obviously, we want to stretch him out and have him as have the ability to be a starting pitcher for depth purposes.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a very good chance that he makes the roster as a long relief pitcher and he stays at the major league level. And him surrounded by the rest of the pitching staff, I think it's just going to elevate his game. He's coming off of not terrible years, but not great years, and I'm excited to see what he can do and just kind of show improve. And as anybody will tell you, take the stats that you get with a grain of salt in spring training. It's more of just what are you seeing from the player? What advances is he making, and is he showing you potential for the season? Because guys like Colin Snyder had not a very good spring training, and then they came out in the season, they were lights out. And I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong on him. Then there's guys that actually do really well, like Tyson Smith, who I was a huge fan of, who did really well in spring training, I believe 2 years ago. Then we gave him a chance, and then he did well. And then we still let him go for almost no reason, or a reason I can't think of. And he goes to the Cubs and he does well for them. So I'm excited. Baseball
is the worst.
It is. I mean, that's Mariner. It's in perfect Mariner fashion. But hey, we're coming off of a different year. We've gone the furthest we've ever gone. Game 7 of the ALCS. Brendan Donovan. We get to see him, what he looks like in this Mariner uniform. Not sure if he's going to be in the lineup. Lineup will be announced at some point tomorrow morning for a 1:10 start. I believe it's Seattle time. I'm here in Arizona, so it's actually it is a 1:10 start our time, 12:10 start your time. Wanted to confirm that. So excited to see what this first lineup's going to be, and what Dan Wilson's excited about on that end as well. But yeah, we got some prospects that are coming up, and to all those out there that may not be aware, and there's probably everybody that's not aware, Emily and I and a handful of other people are also in a Dynasty Fantasy League, and we just started this league, and we're doing our prospect draft right now. So a couple of these names Emily's getting to see, and like, now I get to pay attention to this person in my league. So Emily, talk to me a little bit about what prospects you're excited to see and all that.
Well, just to talk about our fantasy baseball league just for a second, I almost took Kate Anderson with my last pick. And Dindell's like, if he's still available for my third one, I'll take him. And then you took him immediately after me. And I was like, dang it.
Sorry about it. I was actually shocked. I was actually shocked he was still available for my 19th overall pick, but I'll take it.
I was being nice to he who will not be named by not taking Ryan Sloan when I had the pick right before him. But anyway.
Shout out to Jake from Raise the Trident. And just a quick plug, if you're not following Jake from Raise the Trident, he's helped me tremendously. He's a huge friend of mine, and we're actually going to the game on Saturday now that he's down here in Arizona. So if you're not following Jake from Raise the Trident on all platforms, please make sure to follow Jake. Sorry, Emily, I cut you off there.
No, perfect. I was going to say the same thing. So, I mean, ultimately, I think that, we've got these young guys. We've got some guys who are showing out with their bullpen sessions, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together. A friend of mine the other day was talking about the fact that some of these earlier spring training games, you might actually see a little bit more of our almost like starting lineup, because a lot of these guys are going to be heading off to the World Baseball Classic here in not very long. And so a lot of times with spring training, you don't end up seeing a lot of the starters in the more beginning stages, or it's just more limited or whatever. But some of these guys might get a little bit more time and they might just look a little bit more like later spring training games, because those guys will be heading off in here just a couple weeks. And so, I think it's going to be, it's just going to be weird, like to see, I mean, I think it's going to be like fun, weird to see these guys out there again. But I always like, one of my favorite things I love about spring training is when you're going through the lineup and you see names like Julio, and then like, you might like try to think of like a good example, but like when you see a prospect and a starter on the same lineup together, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like these young guys are getting an opportunity to play with big leaguers all together and have fun together and play together. And yeah, that's one of my favorite things about it. And like you said, the stats of spring training, they mean a lot, but they don't mean what they mean in the in an
There's
actual
small
regular season
indication.
game.
I agree. There's small indication, sample size, and just kind of you take it with a grain of salt. But you mentioned World Baseball Classic really quick. I want to give you a plug. If you haven't already, check out Emily. She does all of our articles. She does fantastic work. This was her latest article. Actually, came out on February 14th. Good old Smoochie Day or Valentine's Day, whatever you call it with your loved ones. But Mariners in the World Baseball Classic, she breaks down everybody there. If you haven't checked it out, and if you enjoy a good read, this is a very good read. Emily does fantastic work. So wanted to give a quick plug to Emily and her work. And also, as you see on scrolling down there, you'll see a handful of other articles. So if you enjoy reading in general and Mariners baseball, make sure to check out the rest of those articles as well. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that your article got out there, especially as we're talking about World Baseball Classic, and that's going to be a hot topic. I'm so excited for World Baseball Classic here in the next couple. Actually, I think in the next week and a half. I believe it's that Monday the 2nd or Monday. I believe it's that week is when things get kicked off, and we got the Olympics going on right now, and USA is probably inevitably going to take on Canada in hockey, and so we got so much cool stuff that's going on just in the sports world. Our Seahawks just won the Super Bowl, so we're riding high in Seattle, and just to give a shout out to the city of Seattle, so many things we've never had euphoria like this. We're so used to all of our teams just being mediocre, which is the worst place to be because you're not quite in the playoffs and you're not getting a good draft pick. You can't, strive for the future. You're in that middling ground of being just below 500, and we're so used to that in Seattle. But with all the good news, the Sonics potentially coming back. The Seattle Kraken right now are slated to make the postseason. The Seattle Sounders made the postseason this past year. Just so many good things that are happening in Seattle. And then we got spring training kicking off tomorrow, leading into World Baseball Classic. Like you said, we're probably going to see a good mix of starters here in the first handful of games, just so they can start to build chemistry, just so they can start to get to know each other on the field. So very exciting stuff coming on. But I got to give a shout out to guys that are on the spring training invite roster, which is Brian Sloan and Kate Anderson. Very excited to see what they can do, and we're going to see them against some quality competition. We're going to see them against high level minors, guys that are fighting for spots, and then also probably some major leaguers over the next couple of weeks. So what we have in front of us is not only a clean slate, but a lot of really cool stuff to see. I know I'm not like super hyped right now, but I am. I'm just trying to contain how much stuff is actually going on and trying to navigate this conversation in quarterback. Hey, we got this, we got that. Seattle's on top of the world right now. I'm so excited for what this season could potentially bring, and the fact that we can go into the season with a team that is so much better, on paper and hopefully on the field than what we've seen in years past. So my excitement level is very high. I wanted to ask you this: is there any other prospects that you're excited to see potentially turn a corner this year? You got guys like Las Montez, you got guys like Michael Arroyo that are AA, kind of pushing the needle for a potential start this year. Is there anybody that you're really excited about this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably like Las Montez. I know he's one of the more popular names to throw out there, but I'm really excited to see him. I think he's just a really cool player to watch. I know you were mentioning this in our last podcast, but he does kind of have a little bit of that like Yordan Alvarez kind of feel. Like he's just a really high power hitter. And it's been a while since we've had anybody like him in our organization or in any, like, you don't see players like him come along very often. And I think it's gonna be really fun to watch him and see what he can do in spring training. Otherwise, there's so many, like, it's like the not like I feel like I could pull up my list of the like non-rostered invite and be like, oh my gosh, I'm excited to see every single one of these guys. And, you know, as a mom of a baseball player, like, I mean, he's 10, but I'm like, oh my goodness, like these kids, their parents are watching them. Some of them have been to spring training before, some of them have not. And they're getting to watch their kids play for, you know, I mean, I like, you know, some of these guys are not going to get a spot in the opening day roster. Most of them won't, but to get an opportunity to play at that level is just so fun. And um, yeah, I'm honestly excited to just watch. My favorite thing about spring training is like the players who pop up that you never expected to be like showing up and like balls out, right? Like just ready to
Yes.
go. Um, and so I think that's what I kind of go into spring training with a really open mind of like, okay, I like you hear in the first few days of practices and like warm-ups and stuff, like, okay, like even like I've loved hearing about Kate Anderson and Ryan Sloan, and that's like really fun. But I'm really excited to see like the players that are on that list, but you're like, okay, I have no expectations, and then they blow you out of the water.
Yeah.
So in like a week when we come back to this, I'll probably be like, okay, this is the guy I'm watching. But
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, and I'm really excited. They started doing this a couple years ago where they get kind of the top 30, top 35 prospects on one roster. And then they play, you know, somebody else. Or, you know, I think usually we're playing the Padres because we're at the same complex and everything. But it's the top prospects playing against each other. And for several reasons, I like that. First of all, you're getting the top prospects all together. As a fan, you got to be, you know, just dreaming of this. Like, when do we ever get all prospects just on the field playing, you know, competitively? The other thing is, I mean, selfishly, I don't care if they're in AAA or in single A. I want my top prospects. I want my future to gain that cohesiveness, to gain that chemistry on the field. And this is the only opportunity that they might get to do that. Or, you know, maybe sometimes they get that in the World Baseball Classic, which I also love. But honestly, I'd love to see that more. I'd love to see the Arizona Fall Classic be some form of that, to where it's not mixture of different teams. I love to see, you know, just the Seattle Mariners top prospects. You can list, you know, put a number out there. It doesn't matter to me if it's 25, 35, 45. I don't care. But, you know, put the top prospects together and to have them start building that chemistry from a young age and everything. But wanted to pivot. One person I'm really excited. This was other news earlier this week that I'm actually really excited to see what this guy can do. He's a left-handed pitcher, could solve a couple problems. He may just be a guy that gets called up for a couple of weeks. Josh Simpson. I think he most recently played with the Marlins. I'm pulling him up right now. Numbers aren't amazing. I'll just let you know right now, the numbers aren't amazing. So if you're a numbers guy, he's not going to wow you. However, there's one category. Here, I got his numbers right here. I'll pull them up. There is one category that I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here. Maybe he makes the move to the pen, and this is where he shines. And Jerry's really good. If you're a Mariners fan, you know Jerry's really good at getting guys that have the 7+ ERA, bringing them in and just finding a new niche for them. But here's what I really like: 30 innings and 36 strikeouts. He's very strikeout heavy, or he has the opportunity to be very strikeout heavy. He could be a 10+ K per 9 type of guy. So I'm excited. He was with Miami last year. He had the 30+ innings, and Miami was not the greatest last year. So maybe giving him a better situation, maybe that improves his game. You never know. I'm excited to see what he can do this spring training, and just see what we got out of him. And if it's nothing, hey, it's nothing. It is what it is. But it looks like we do have something here. I'm excited to get a chance to see a lot more of the prospects this year, with so many of the major leaguers going to the World Baseball Classic. Jamie Rowland, thank you so much for watching, first of all, and then also commenting. This is what really helps us out when people interact with us and people send this stuff. This is what I want to incentivize to, and thank you so much just for being here and tapping in for a little bit. Couldn't agree more. This is that's why I love the spring training game, where they just have the prospects play, and it's on the biggest stage, and they're televising the game for the most part, or I think they do. 2 years ago, the game was rained out, and they had to make it up on a day that I couldn't go to the game. And so this year I'm hoping that I can get to that game, because that's the game I want to see. But couldn't agree more that it's really cool to see these prospects get that opportunity on the biggest stage with the biggest players, intermingling, interjecting with that. Emily, what are your thoughts on Jamie Rowland's comment here?
Yeah, well, that's my friend Jamie. So
Oh, there you go.
pop up here.
There you go.
But yeah,
Apologies.
seriously, no, you're good. No, I just wanted to shout her out because she's here watching us, which is fun. So, but no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, and I think that it makes, on this like every 3-year cycle. And granted, like this is the most players the Mariners have ever sent to the World Baseball Classic, right? So they've never had this many players going. And so I think it creates kind of a unique opportunity for some of these prospects because they're getting to step in even more in spring training because they're going to be able to, there's going to be more slots to fill, right? The starters are not going to be getting the same level of playing time because they're going to have, they're going to be playing on the international stage. And so I think that it almost gives these prospects more of an opportunity to show up and show out because they have more opportunities to do so and they have more playing time. And so I think we're going to get an even better view of some of these guys and how, how they're going to kind of slot in going forward in the Mariners' future, right? Where they're going to fit in, how they're going to, like what their capabilities are, how they can adjust and adapt. And they're going to have more time and opportunities to do that. Yeah, I think that's going to be really fun for them, especially because, they're going to get more playing time, right? Like, I don't mean,
yeah,
I know that these guys typically want more of that, right? So
yes. And to be honest, like this is just it's a really cool year to see this happen. I know we've already kind of discussed it in the last episode, this episode, and we got game 1 tomorrow, which is why we're keeping today's episode kind of short because we want to keep all the content that we're putting out with some actual statistical evidence and some gameplay that we can kind of talk to you to. But I mean, yeah, with that being said, that's going to do it for our show. We talked a little bit about what we're going to expect from tomorrow, a couple of the transactions that we've seen. Make sure to check in with us Sunday night. We're going to be back. Sundays and Thursdays are nights that we go live. So if you're not already following, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously, and it's absolutely free to you. But just because he's not here, I just want to throw this out. This is our friend Kyle. And this is the many faces of Kyle. As you can tell, he is super pumped for the games tomorrow. Shout out to Kyle, who couldn't be here tonight. But with that being said, for Up West Sports, I'm Gavin. That's Emily. Thank you for tuning in and check out us on Sunday night.